Alright, this is just a quick test of my new OBS settings, and I'm also just going to run some laps here. We're testing GT500 cars for the GP Simsports series. The usual, like, subscribe, likes. Oh, sorry about that, got distracted with something. Anyways, yeah, like, subscribe, do it, no pressure. If you do it, I appreciate it, but again, I'm doing this for fun. I enjoy this. It's entertaining for me, and if I bring entertainment to others and some smiles to other people, yeah, it makes it fun. For those of you wondering about GP Simsports, we are just a loose collection of guys. We've run together for years. I think unofficially we've been doing this since the mid-2000s. It started out as a time trial thing where you would post your lap, and then I think it was GT Gran Turismo 4 or 5, I don't remember which one. It actually went live with actual competition between people online, but trying to drive and then type to communicate was lots of fun. And then Discord was a game changer. But we did Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 6. 6 had voice comms, which was nice. That was done on the PS. And then we went to Project Cars 1, Project Cars 2, and then when they pulled the servers on Project Cars 2, we got annoyed, and myself and another guy, all air-cooled, you'll see him in the races, and he does videos actually on his channel, the Fan Belt Conspiracy, I believe. Yeah, he does videos and stuff and recaps of the races, but he and I put our heads together and decided to take control of the situation, run our own servers, and that was in 2000, I think. Christ, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but yes, late 2000, early 2001, and we've been doing it ever since. So, anyways, I'm going to get to some testing. I haven't tried these cars on this track. Here, let me bring you guys in so you can see what's going on. I think you can see that, yes? Let me actually fix my OBS so I can see what you guys are seeing. Yeah, I hope that... I wonder how that works. Does that scaling show up on your end? I hope not. But we will see. I hope that just allows me to view it. I hope that's not what you guys are seeing. In fact, I'd be very interested. In fact, while we're doing this, I'm going to bring up my own YouTube channel, which you guys won't be able to see. And I want to see if I can see that. Where's my home? Go to here, and go to my channel, and go to live stream, and I want to see if I can see that. I need to mute that, otherwise I will talk stupid and it won't work. But let me see if how am I going to do this? Let me move this so I can see it. I've never messed with this live before, so we will see, because I'm going to look at my screen now. Alright, now I can see both. So if I change the zoom here, does it affect what you guys see? I don't think so. Oh, that's really cool. Alright, that'll make my life way easier. Alright, I like that. So, yeah. Anyways, let me not look at that, because that would get monumentally confusing. Anyways, I am going to, yeah, I'm going to hit some laps. Appreciate it if you're along for a ride on this snowy Saturday. I'm in New England. We're getting snow. We've had a lot of snow this year, which is great. It's exciting stuff, but this is the Ferrari F40. We are running the we're trying to put together a GT500 series. This is Fuji. I've never tried this. I got a sneaking feeling I'm going to run out of gear, but let's see what happens here. Something else. I've been mucking around using I got my steering wheel and pedal sensors showing, and those are from my Mosa panel for my wheel. It's actually asked at the time, it was the best, one of the best wheels you could get. Look that up at some point. At some point I should do a sim rig. I do not have a full sim rig, by the way. I had a big hardwood desk, lots of screens, different various things, because I've got a server screen, and I have I run on a G9 monitor, and then I have a side screen where I handle Discord and OBS, and I just grabbed an old screen from my office that I want to stand. I'm actually gonna, I haven't seen it here now, but I'm gonna put Discord up there. I mean, not Discord, I'll put OBS up there on that screen. Which will be convenient. I just upgraded my graphics card to 5070 Ti. I saw the prices going up, and I was like, yeah, really ought to do something. But we're out of gear. Alright, we gotta do something about that. So that's interesting. Where's my cursor? Here it is. And we'll go back to the pits and see what we can do for gearing. Let's see, 175. Yeah, well, I got one choice, so 190. So let's see what happens. I run a hand clutch, like an F1 style clutch. If you can see on my wheel there, you can see I'm flipping the lower levels. I like that. I still have a pedal clutch, as you can see, but right now I don't have it doing anything. I also have a manual shifter, but I paddle shift. Just what I like. Anyways, yeah, what was I talking about? So, yeah, this is my new streaming. I've been messing around a bit with this, trying to come up with it. One of the things I wanted to, well, not wanted to, but I was considering is taking my wide format, which I like for racing, but I don't know if you guys mind the black bars top and bottom. I could resize that screen to the 16:9 area that OBS lets me do, and I would then overlay the wheel and the pedals someplace on the screen somewhere, but it would give you guys a much bigger view top to bottom, but not as wide. Just something you guys are interested in. Let's see if we run out of gear now. I think I'm good. my steering wheel, all those, that what you're seeing on the steering wheel on the screen here is you're seeing the exact movements that I'm getting, and you're also seeing the kickback that I get, which if I just recorded a view of my screen, of my wheel, I don't think you'd really see that as much. It would be harder for you to tell what's my inputs versus what the Mosa's kicking back at me. Speaking of Mosa, a lot of people are like, why did you go Mosa? I spent years racing Logitech stuff because we did a lot of PlayStation stuff. And I like Logitech stuff. It's fantastic entry level equipment. You know, if you don't have a lot of money, it's a great place to start. I would recommend it. Whether you go PC or PlayStation, it's up to you. I started PlayStation, migrated. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Way back when, I actually started PC and then went PlayStation. And I missed my break point talking to you guys. Walking and chewing gum. But yeah, I started on PC way back when. Papyrus was the king of Sims back then. I did a lot of the NASCAR racing. I did the Formula 1. The sim that sticks out with me the most was a sim called Sports Car GT. It had a neat sort of player mode where you got money for winning races and you could upgrade your cars, and there was a whole series that you would race. Obviously graphics by today's standards were horrible, but I remember the physics are actually not bad. In fact, I found a copy of it online and I was able to play it on a modern computer, and the physics are still pretty darn good. I think I got that game free with a graphics card I bought, maybe? It's been a long time. But I think I got a Voodoo graphics card. Dating myself a little bit here, but yeah, anyways, if you were getting started, getting back to wheels, highly would recommend Mosa. If you're getting started and you can swing it, Mosa has some. So if you can swing a little bit more, I think a good Logitech wheel is now close to 300. And I think you can get a base Mosa setup for mid to fours, I think. Definitely something to consider. But, you know, a couple $100 is a couple $100, and you get it. I was starting to get pedal issues with my Logitech. It was starting to lose, like the brakes were starting to drag, and I kept having to widen the dead spot on it, and eventually it got just untenable. And when I was looking, it was at the time when Fanatec looked like it was going up in flames, and the build quality, and yeah, the shine of Fanatec was definitely being knocked off a bit, and that led me to Mosa. They seemed to be a very, at the time, you know, they were not known like they are now. But they had good reviews. Their equipment for the money seemed to be, you know, a good price point. I still agree with that. And here I am. I've since, I wouldn't say I've converted people, but three guys in our racing group have all swapped over to the Mosa stuff. I've been very encouraging. They've all gone, I believe, to the R5, which really is all you need this Ferrari is tricky. You know, with Newton meters of force, more is not better in the sense of you need more force because you don't, a normal car doesn't have, 22 Newton meters of force coming back at you when you're driving. It can if you hit a wall, and that's how people break thumbs and wrists and stuff when you're racing. You hit a wall with your hands on the wheel, and that can be simulated with some of the more powerful wheels. Don't recommend it. In fact, they offer emergency stop buttons. To give you an idea on how dangerous some of these things can be. But what an increased Newton meters gives you a headroom for granularity, and that's really important. That will let you feel, like you feel the curves, like right there. I can feel that. Like I said, I'm running at 12, but I keep it at about 40% max, and actually maybe a little less than that. So, a 9, if you got a 5, you could probably run it at 60%, 80%, and be absolutely fine. The reason I got the R12 is at the time I was going to get an R9. I thought it was the sweet spot after my research, but the wheel I wanted, more buttons are better. I think mine's the CS2V. It has the yellow stripe on the center of the top of the wheel. I really wanted this wheel because more buttons. Adding buttons after the fact to a wheel, a pain in the neck. So buy more buttons. More buttons is always better. Don't compromise there. It's the touch surface. Yeah. But at the time, there was a bundle with the R12 and this wheel, and it was like the same price if I bought the R9 separately with the wheel. So yeah, that's what I did. I think it was a good choice, but I absolutely don't think you don't need an R12, particularly just getting started. But I'm glad I did. I have their high-end pedals, load cell pedals, I forget what they're called. They don't make this set exactly. I got the first generation of them. They're all metal. I think they have since changed things over to carbon fiber or maybe plastic. I don't really know why. But I like them. A couple of things to note. When you get a new wheel, or you step up to a better wheel, the assumption is it's going to make you a better driver. And I could have been more wrong about that. Which was very disheartening because a lot of the guys I raced with had all gotten new wheels, and I didn't take into account the time factor, but they all seemed to be getting faster. I'm like, well, got to keep up with the Joneses sort of thing, and so I went ahead and got a new wheel. And I was very disappointed. I actually went slower. And there's a couple reasons why. One, I had the force turned up too high. If you are of age to actually drive a car, make the resistance match your car, whatever the power steering on your car is. You'll be surprised how actually low that is. You maybe want to make it a little harder, but yeah. don't need super high. Realistic, make it match the resistance on your car. If you're not of age, talk to a parent, talk to an adult, let them turn the wheel and get a feel for, you know, what it's like to turn a real steering wheel. You'll be surprised how low a setting that is. The other thing is there's a lot of settings which do a lot of little things, and I'll be the first to tell you I'm no expert. The nice thing is, Moza on their website has some link to some videos showing you how to set up for specific games. Very helpful. And the biggest thing was this, is that, and this is what I didn't understand, and it took me a long time to figure. It took me about 2 months to actually get back to where I was speed-wise, and I've gotten better since then, is that it's the little things and the speed at which you get the information that these better wheels what makes them shine. Like, you can tell when you're hitting a curb sooner, so it gives you that little bit more reaction time to maybe let off the gas a little bit, or you know, do what you need to do to react to the information that you're being given. That's huge. That's probably the biggest thing. And the track itself, the information that the wheel gives you relative to what the front tires of the car are doing is also, and this is subtle, this is what I didn't understand. I was expecting monumental change, and nope, that was not the case. It gives you a lot more subtle information, and if you learn to recognize it and use it, you will become a better driver. But anyways, as for PC, I think somebody asked me that the other day. Like I said, I recently upgraded to a 5070 Ti. I saw the prices going up. I got mine for $730. I got the PNY. I went in there to actually, a couple weeks later, went in with my son to upgrade his PC. He's does a lot of gaming and also needs a good PC for stuff he does for school and graphics and design work and stuff. But the price had already gone up $200 more, $250 because of the whole chip thing. I'm running a AM4 platform. I think I'm running a 5800X. Didn't need an X3D because this game could run on a potato. And 32 gigs of RAM. Again, unneeded, but it's all DDR4. It's an older platform. Really, guys, I've owned this. Sort of my PC life, I've built a lot of them over the years. I'm not young, probably older. Well, you guys figure that on them. Probably older than maybe some of you guys realize. I probably have kids that may be older than some of you guys and ladies. And what I've learned with the PC world is the discount you can get on stuff that is just not, you know, it's like you don't buy the bleeding edge, you buy the stuff that's a couple of years old at 50 to 60, even 80% off from new. It's a bargain. You know, you don't need the latest and greatest AM5 stuff and the DDR5, 6, I don't know. It isn't really needed. I mean, time's money. My office computer is another story. That's a beast. Whoops, and I'm out of fuel. My office computer is a beast. I wonder if I can glide all the way there. I doubt it. I won't make it up the hill. Nope. I'm not gonna make it. The office computer is a beast, but it, I mean, I'm times money. I make money with that. That's a different story. And even that one now, I mean, that's a 4090 with a 3950X. You know, I was looking at it going, well, I could go to whatever it is, a 9950 and a 5900, or even go to a Quadro card, and that would be, I could spend, you know, $10,000 easy on upgrading that machine. So, but anyways, getting back to gaming, build the compute. What was the big thing with my computer was the what drove me to upgrade the graphics card and the CPU was the G9 monitor. The G9 monitor, I wanted 4K, I wanted widescreen, and I wanted to run this effectively 10-year-old game at max settings with the CSP, and that's what dictated slightly better CPU. Again, I could have got an X3D CPU, I think. I think they made those for the AM4. I don't even know, but I didn't. I went one step down from the best, and obviously I got a 5070 Ti. I could have just gone to a 5080, but the price difference was like at that time was $800 or $900. You know, maybe not that much. I think no, I think it was. I think it was about $1,800. It was almost double going to a 5080 versus a 5070 Ti. And now I think you're like $3,000 for a 5090 and $2,000 for a 5080, and 5070s I've seen trading $1,100, $1,200. So 5070 Ti's, I mean. So, but when I did it, I built it what I needed to run this game and hopefully future-proof a little bit. So what I'm saying, guys, is don't just buy the best. Do the research. Build your PC to suit your needs, not necessarily your wants. I mean, it's great to go on a forum and say, yeah, I'm running 500, you know, F500 FPS at 4K, and you know, okay, fine. Run what you need. I mean, even this setup to me is a bit of an overkill. I've got it maxed out running, I guess technically like 3K with the G9. You guys can probably tell me what it is exactly, but I'm hitting 260 FPS. Now here's the thing, unless you have a monitor that can use that, kind of a waste. With my monitor, I think it's 120 FPS at 4K, so 260 FPS is like, I'm not seeing half of the FPSs that I paid for. So, yeah, you can look at it that way. You know, although tangenting, going off on a little bit of a tangent, I'm actually, you're going to get a blank screen for a second. I'm going to swap cars. What was I talking about here? Lost my train of thought completely. Oh yeah, FPS. There is some merit, I guess, to doubling your frames versus what your monitor can do, because that eliminates essentially misframes. You will always get a new frame. If you're not, I guess you can actually end up with skip frames. So what, even though it's saying like say 100 FPS, you could realistically end up with half of that, which would be 50 FPS, because you get the same frame twice, depending on how things are working. Whereas if you, I'm going to run the Super now. Got distracted here. But if you run the twice the frames, if you're generating twice the frames that your monitor can use, I've been told that that guarantees you a new frame with every refresh. How much that's really necessary, say over 70 or 80 FPS, that's your guys' call. I guess if you're a really serious e-gamer or something, it would make a difference, but I'm not. The other thing I do play is, I might run out of gear on this car. I do play Armor Reforger. I stream some of that, which is kind of fun. And check it out. I haven't done a stream in a while, but usually I enjoy that. But we're mid-season testing right now for the... Okay. This car is gonna be fun. Like I was saying, with mid-season testing, most of my spare time is spent running testing for the GP Simsports series, and yeah, I don't have time for Armor, although I did get on last night, which was a hoot. A lot of fun. Armor Reforger is a great community. It's a fun game if you're into it. It's not nearly as... It is what you want to make of it. You want combat, you go chase it down and get into it. You want to drive supply trucks around, go for it. You want to be a sniper and sneak around, or a scout and sneak around, you can do that too. It's a fun game. It's a relatively steep learning curve. There is a billion keybinds to it. So, learning curve is pretty steep in that game, but it's a lot of fun, and generally speaking, if you can't figure something out and you're in game, learn how your comms work and ask somebody. 99, just tell them, hey, I'm new at this, I just started, how do I do X? And unless you're getting shot at or being assaulting some point or something, just about everybody I've run into has been, good and they'll help you out. But anyways, back on this racing. Yeah, I think what is GP Simsports? Like I was saying, that totally sidetracked there. GP Simsports, like I said, started back in the 2000s. I joined around 2008 or 9. And in its current iteration, running a Santa Corsa, we've been doing this since, like I said, late 2000, early 2001 is when I have some of the first records. We started out exclusively doing stuff over on Grassroots Motorsports. There's a good community over there of car enthusiasts. Message board. We started there. We're still run threads over there. It's sort of like our old home. I don't think we'll ever leave there. But this car is tricky. But we have Discord now, and we chat on Discord while we're racing. We've got a good crew. We typically have 14, 16 people show up for the races. Not everybody can show up for every race, so we're always looking for new people. You can go to Grassroots Motorsports in the forums, and we'll go find it there. That'll show you how to get onto the Discord and all that fun stuff. It's great group of guys. It's a lot of fun. And this car is slow. So I've been doing this a long time. I just enjoy the competitiveness of it. It started out with a lot of car guys, actual racing guys, but we have since morphed out. We got literally all ages. I think one of our youngest started with us when he was, I want to say, 12. He's grown up a lot. He's now 16. Yes, his parents know what he's doing and checks in. And we've got guys 70s. So it's a big range. And we have one rule, which essentially is don't be a dick. You know, no dive on it. Don't crash people out. We're not here to. I certainly don't want to be the race car policeman. I like to race, not call people out. And generally speaking, that has worked well. I mean, it's interesting. We get new guys who or ladies, but new guys who either haven't raced before, and essentially it wouldn't matter if they're in a real car or a digital car, they're going to have to learn sort of racing etiquette and what racing actually is all about. As I joke with people, it's sort of like ballroom dancing and playing chess at 200 miles an hour. That's what race car driving is. And they're going to have to learn it. Or you get guys who have been running a lot on other servers playing games, and the shenanigans that happens in games is not acceptable in a simulator, because again, this is a sim, not a game. You know, there's no what do you call it, missions or anything like that associated with this. It's straight up, we're going into a race with other people. If you crash somebody out in a race, you effectively have ruined their race, just like in real life. And so everyone needs to be mindful. And we've got a great group. They're really good, and new people seem to get it quickly, which is really great. I mean, it can be great fun. We enjoy it. These GT500 cars, I have, with the, let's just call it the, I was a big NASCAR fan back, in quotes, back in the day. And obviously, with the politically correcting, dumbing down, I don't know what you want to call it, of NASCAR, I've been slowly have moved away from it, looking for other forms of motorsports. I like Formula 1, but Formula 1 I think is suffering sort of the same malady that NASCAR did, which is the sort of, what do you want to call it, dumbing it down to the lowest common denominator and making it politically correct. I mean, these are race car drivers. You're gonna get an occasional F-bomb. You know? What do you expect? I mean, the other thing is, I don't want to say it's like gladiators of the Roman times, but yes, people can die doing race car driving. There's no sugarcoating it, and now let's face it, we all, I don't say we all, but everybody who's watched a car race, it's the crashes. You watch it for the crashes, at least initially, and then, if you stick around from that and you begin to get hooked on it, well then you start learning the nuances of race car driving and all that stuff. But the GT500 series, this is the GT300 and GT500 is a Japanese. It's Japanese series, which is run in Asia, and some neat history on it with respect to the what's happened over the years. They do and have let other manufacturers in. I think currently Porsche's in it, as is Lamborghini. What kind of ruined it was when the McLaren F1 came out. The series was supposed to be based on quote-unquote street cars, and well, the F1 was a street car, it was also essentially a race car, and it obviously totally dominated, and that wasn't the spirit of the rules. And they, I think they call it the McLaren rule, but I'm making that up, but yeah, non-Japanese manufacturers get a significant weight penalty to essentially say, yeah, you can come play with us, but go thank McLaren for, I'm not even sure it was McLaren, but whatever. Kind of ruined it for everybody else. I don't know if nowadays they have a power to weight thing. I know the rules are pretty tight. But it's a lot more, a little bit more of the Wild West of racing, that's for sure. The fans are absolutely bonkerly crazy, and they get full stadiums. You know, it's great to see the enthusiasm for the sport, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't speak Japanese, so I don't understand a lot of it, but you know, they have a YouTube channel you can watch. I get it. Sometimes they do English translations, or it will be broadcast by English speaking broadcasters on some of their side channels. It's a good time. I enjoy it a lot. This is a bumpy track. Which is interesting. Well, so that's a series. The problem in Assetto Corsa is it's a catch-22 because we want parity of the cars, obviously, because it's fun to get fields with multiple different brands of cars. You know, we tease the guys, guys that are driving the Nissan GTR. We always tease them that they're racing their Maxima, and then there's the whole super thing and everything. It's a little smack talk, which is always fun, but we also want to make sure, at least I as one of the organizers to this, is that everything is, you got an equal shot, you know. I wouldn't say no matter what car you pick, but you have an equal shot of at it. It's not the car that's holding you back, basically, and that's difficult to do in Assetto Corsa. To have cars that legitimately mimic the characteristics of the car that it's doing while still keeping it competitive is a very challenging thing. And so far, this series I've got here, these are the JGTC cars. They're free to download. If I think of it, I'll put a link in the description after this thing goes live. I can go back and edit that. And these is a great pack. There's like 50 cars in it. There were several cars that didn't work. What's it called? Like the Autobach something or other. One of my favorite cars. It was a one-off car made for the series. Never went into production. And there was a couple of the Nissans that just didn't work with the server. I don't know what was wrong with it. But I've got, how many cars here in the 500s? Probably a dozen. And with two exceptions, they're all relatively close. The 993 Porsche 911, well, it wants to do Porsche things and kill you. I think the car's fast. I think it's just got too much portion in it. The other one is the R32 Nissan Skyline. It's slow. I think it's me. I think the car just needs to be driven differently. And yeah, but that's sort of the cool thing about the series is like I have this Supra that I'm driving right now, which is, I really like it. And it drives very differently than, say, the F40 I was just driving. And what I'm discovering is that these cars drive differently, so both driver skill and what you like as a driver is going to obviously, you know, if you're driving what you like, you're going to be faster in it. So there's something for everything in that respect. And then there's also tracks, like this Supra does not have the top speed that Ferrari has, and I think in some of the really big high-speed tracks, the Ferrari is going to smoke this thing. It's a good pack. I would highly recommend it. What else is in that pack? Can't see. I have to click on something over here while I'm going down the straightaway. Let me click on it. Yep, there we go. Can I hit the hide button? Hide button. Where am I? On the straight here. Ah, alright. There's a 300. I'll give you an example. There's a guy we race with called Pro Darwin, or Watson the Great, depending on which platform. And there's a 300CX in this that I don't like. And Pro likes it. He is smoking fast with it. Not my car. And that's what makes this car set cool, is that the diversity of cars is such that they're equal, and the diversity of them cater to what different people want, which makes it a really, really, probably one of the best car packs I have played with, because in testing, what I found is you get a car pack that is, all they've done is take the same, essentially the same drivetrain, and they reskin it, which, I mean, that's a way of ensuring that you're going to get absolute parity, and that's, you know, I'm not complaining about that. Maybe they changed the exhaust note, but performance-wise, specs-wise, they're identical. The other way they do it, and these are the ones that are horrible, is they're just not equal. You know, they're just horribly mismatched cars. Many of them are get 9 laps. You know, they're just horribly mismatched cars that are they shouldn't be racing together. I mean, now the thing is that maybe maybe that's how it was in real life, and that's fine. You know, somebody wasn't competitive, but we're sim racing, and we at least want to try to simulate some parity, because yes, it's a sim, yes, we're racing, but it's also about having fun. Sort of, you gotta, you know, you gotta, I could go off on a whole nother tangent on the difference between sims and games, but I'll try something else. I'm gonna hop out of this and let you guys do that. I'll let you give it a second. I'm going to, what am I going to get next for this track? It's 300. I'm going to try the F1. I do like this car. Very fast in a straight line. Well, let me check the gears. I'm gonna check that one, see what that does. It's interesting, the steering in this car is super light. Super light. I am not running ABS, by the way, or traction control. I do, when I run the servers, set the server up to allow ABS and traction control on any car. Essentially, I force its availability. I don't force people to use it. Big reason for that is different skill levels. You know, the hot shoes, or one of the guys referred to them as the aliens that race. Yeah, they don't need the ABS and traction control. They argue that they're faster without it, and at the very least it makes it more challenging and more fun. Whereas, let's face it, when you're just getting started and you're hopping into a 700 horsepower McLaren, having traction control and ABS might not be a bad thing, at least to get started. And it helps tighten the field, and it helps let less experienced people run with the more experienced people, so that's why I do it. Little sacrifice of realism. You can drive the car as it is authentically built, but we do give you the option, which is good. Yeah, going into I'll try this car with the ABS, and I'll be the first to admit, I run ABS a lot. What's interesting about this car is all the controls feel a lot lighter. Steering's lighter, the brake pedals resistance is a lot less. It's easier to go into lockup. While I concentrate. Why did we go to Assetto Corsa? How did we end up here? Because it's obviously not the most modern game. Well, I'll tell you, the modding community for this game has just been unbelievable. It's what's kept it alive. It's one of those things that I'm sure gaming manufacturers may. It's all about instant gratification, instant return. And unfortunately, it has made the gaming community for a lot of sim racing and car games crap. Gran Turismo stuff just got, those were more video gaming. It's just not very realistic as someone who's driven race cars on, real race cars on real race tracks. It was a video game with an emphasis on the word game, and which is fine. I mean, after all, this is meant to be fun. Crashing is not fun, so they've changed the laws of physics in a lot of those games, and there is a problem with that, but I'll get to in a second. And then there are sims. Project Cars was an interesting one because it had the amount of adjustability and the actual physics of the game were very sim-like. very unforgiving. I don't remember what the nannies were like in it, but it was very unforgiving. But it also had, you know, the game aspect of it, campaigns and various different things you could do. I remember that was the one that you could actually race on the moon. I remember, which was kind of a fun thing. So yeah, but we got sick and tired of Sony with Gran Turismo because, well, one, you buy the game for $60, $70, $80, $100, and it would only last for, say, 2 years. They would then issue the new one. You'd have to buy the game again. They'd shut the servers down for the old one, so no more racing with your buddies. You'd have to go to the new game. You maybe have to buy a new console, and your wheel and pedals doesn't work with the new console. So the next thing you know, just to go to Gran Turismo 7, 6, or whatever it was, you know, you think, oh, it's just a game. Well, yeah, the next thing you know, you're out whatever, $500 or $600 for a console. At the time, $300, $400 for another set of Logitech wheels and pedals. You know, so the next thing you know, you're $1,500 into it just to play a new game with your buddies. You can obviously see where Sony makes their money, and I'm sure Logitech wasn't complaining. And that happened obviously a couple of times, and then Project Cars essentially kind of did the same thing, although that's a whole, I could do a whole, it would be a very long video, but the shenanigans involved with the death of Project Cars, as I call it. That was, just annoyed us to the point of, hey, you know, when they shut off Project Cars 2 servers, we're sort of like, okay, we need something that we can control, we have control over, and it was cheap, and we very quickly landed on Assetto Corsa. And, you know, at the time, Assetto Corsa was 5 years old, and it's a sim. And the big thing is you run your own server on your own PC, and so it makes it great. You know, the community is huge. I haven't been out looked recently in all the servers, but there seems to be a thriving community for this game 10 years on, because of the modding community, and it's cheap. I mean, I know they issued a new Assetto Corsa game a little while ago, which was only GT3 cars, which was kind of dumb, in my opinion. You can buy this game on sale on Steam with all the extra content, several car packs and whatnot. When it goes on sale on Steam, it's like under $20. The game by itself, when it's not on sale, and I think the content and everything would be $30, $35, which is phenomenal. And yeah, it's not as plug and play as, you know, just put it in your console and go, but the amount of content out on the internet for free is just, I think I have 900 cars. Give you an idea. It's, you just don't run out of stuff to do. And if you really want to get, you know, into it, you can design your own tracks. There's a track editor, which I can't say one way or the other if it's good or bad. I played with it a little, and it just felt tedious. And the really professionals, I guess, use Blender and some other stuff. If you're good at that stuff, you know, the modeling, it's incredible. But we went to this because when Project Cars 2 shut down, it's like, okay, what do? We're going to go buy all new software. We're going to go to have to upgrade the console again, and finally settled on this. And I'd never hosted servers before. I didn't know what I was doing, but learned how to do it. It's not that hard. There was not a lot of online support actually for hosting of servers. I don't know why, there just wasn't. So it took some learning, but it's, I'll be honest, I was new at it. If you have a little bit of networking savvy, and you can set up your port pass-throughs in your router, it's really a piece of cake. And it's let us control everything ourselves. We don't have to worry about, you know, shutting off stuff. And it's been great. And then, you know, as we've messed with it more and more, I'm currently using the default server manager, but there's a thing called Content Manager, which is just that. It manages the content for Simsports, which is a phenomenal program. You can get it for free, and then there's the paid-for version, which I highly recommend. Yes, it's from Russia, but it's been around long before the whole Russian thing. And you give them $1, they'll take, it's a donation, you give them anything you want, but give them $1, $5, whatever you feel it's worth, and it's really good. I think if Assetto Corsa was smart, instead of reinventing a new game and everything, if they just put their heads into rewrapping what they already have and embracing the content, and maybe if you have content that you submit to them that they will certify that can be then purchased for, I mean, what's a car worth? $1? You know, I don't know. If they issued a new game that made car editing, car management stuff, I don't know, they essentially cleaned it up, the menuing, kept everything else the same, because all the add-ons now, I mean, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Could this be better? Sure. But let's face it, it's a race car. I'm not looking off at the hills and the mountains and the trees. I'm racing the car. It's not super important that there has to be, you know, crickets and bugs flying around. You don't see it in real life anyways. So it's, anyway, so we did that, and we've been ever since. And it's a great game, simple, cheap. It was, I think, a really good choice on our part. Simple, cheap, graphically it's plenty fine. Content is, you know, essentially unlimited, because with a little, if you can't find it, you can build it. And there are actually guys out there that will, for a fee, build your car. We have a group that actually, some of the guys have done that, worked with guys to model their race car to allow them to then test settings and stuff digitally. Test gear sets at tracks. There's so many tracks. The odds of your home track being on here are quite high. You could Which is better, this gear set, that gear set? Which transmission is better? Does adding an LSD really help me on, and on and on? And you can just do it if it's not already in the car. It's really pretty easy to mod the car to simulate whatever feature or whatever you're trying to do. And that's what makes this really cool. It's a great community. But anyways, I think I am going to, well, I run out of fuel on this. I think I'm going to call it a day. And I got to go shovel snow. We got bunches of snow last night. And I've been lazy. And it's already 3:30 my time, so probably should go clean that up or not. How many laps have I done with this car? Probably got 2 more. But yeah. If you guys have any, obviously, I'm sitting here talking to myself. I get a little feedback from people. If you got comments or questions, post them up. I'll do my best. I'm very busy. But I will try to answer them in the next, I'll either answer them in the comments or I'll answer them, or if it's something like, hey, we'd like you to do a video about this, or heck, if you guys have suggestions for a racing series for our GT Simsports group, I'll be all ears. I missed the break point. Because, yeah, it'd be fun. We've done everything. We've raced double-decker buses. We're reasonably serious. We try to do serious seasons or series with a theme or something. It can be. We just did the Cars of the People, which was a lot of fun. Same track. We were running people's real cars, which was a lot of fun. That's just finished. We've done, obviously, GT3 cars, GT4s, GTE, Fieros, and whatnot. But I think I'm going to let you guys go and kill it here. Yeah, take care.